Oh, look at that. We have live on both of our platforms, y'all. This is exciting news, right? So, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, um, shout out to those who are on the Instagram live channel as well as those who are on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. So, for those on YouTube, I'm trying to figure out this backdrop thing because when I tried this last week, it didn't work. So now I'm trying to figure out this backdrop because for some reason it is, I don't know. It looks like I'm in the clouds or something. And I might be, right? So, I was telling my uncle yesterday that, today we're going to Venus. We're going to Venus, y'all, because we're talking about love, right? We're talking about more so than we're talking about love, we're talking about the heart chakra. And so I'm very grateful for y'all for journeying with me through the seven chakras. I'm coming to you live from my house. I needed to, it's been quite the day. I have meetings like back to back and stuff like that. So I was like, I needed to really, tone it down a bit. Because it's been, today is one of those days, and we all have these days, right? Where it's just been go, go, go. Um, and it's funny because that is so much of why this conversation is so important because um, the heart, right? Um, taking care of your heart, taking care of your heart, taking care of your heart, meaning taking care of not just your physical heart, but also taking care of your emotional heart, your spiritual heart, taking care of that energy within you that not only allows you to love and allows you to share that love, but it creates this energetic vortex all around you. And particularly in American culture, it's about productivity, right? Like how productive can you actually be versus how are you taking care of yourself, right? Self-care is something that you have to prioritize. So I'm very grateful for these conversations because it gives us the opportunity to really have these conversations about the ways that you are taking care of yourself, right? Because there's a lot going on, there's a lot a lot going on. And so when there's a lot going on in the external world, it's important to make sure that you are calibrated to, the divine, to the internal, to, the great I am, right? So that you are not emotionally pulled apart by all of the things in the external reality that are constantly vying for your attention. So taking care of your heart is key for this. So before we actually get started, what we're gonna do is, and once again, like last time, y'all, I hope y'all can hear me, but we are going to tune the energy to the energy of the heart chakra. What I'm using here is a tuning fork for that is tuned specifically to the frequency of the heart. And it's available on the Conscious Creations website. It comes in this little pouch, and it comes with the little wand thing to hit it here. But I hope y'all can hear it. So here you go, right? And so if you order this, Ashe. So when you order this, when you receive it, even if you didn't hear that, what you because it vibrates, you will actually feel the vibration resonating through your hand and through your body because it's actually tuning the energy, right? You may be able to even see it, or maybe not. It's very subtle. And with this filter thing on, y'all, I don't know how to stop this background thing. So I'll have to figure that out for my YouTube family. But yeah, so the heart chakra, tuning to the heart chakra. Now, there are, there are other systems, of course, that say that there are other chakras, and I'm sure that there are, right? But because most people are familiar with the seven chakras, and those are sort of the base, the base or basic chakras, that's why I wanted to really focus on the seven quote unquote basic chakras, chakra system. So now what we're talking about is called in the Hindu system, is called the Anahata, Anahata, the Anahata chakra. And so all of the chakras are energy. It's just energy in your body, right? And now the energy corresponds not only to particular frequencies, right? Because there are organs. So these organs play sounds. And so you want to make sure that those sounds are playing in harmony with the rest of the orchestra that is your body, right? So having the right frequency, the right sound, the right vibration and when I say right, I want to be clear. Generally, I'm talking about tuned to the divine frequency, right? Because there's all levels of frequency. If you turn on the radio, you understand that there's levels, right? There's levels to this, right? So there's all different types of frequencies and sounds and things like that. And so when you're tuning your body, you're tuning yourself to a particular frequency, right? And so when we're talking about the energy of the heart, we're talking about that energy, the life, all of it is life force energy. But when you think about the heart, first of all, in a child, my understanding, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but from the research that I've done, the heart is the first thing to develop in a fetus, right? And so because of that, I look at the heart as being the most ancient of our ancestral organs, right? It is ancient. And so in that ancientness, right, of the heart is all of the emotions, all of the things that the heart has gone throughout the course of not only your life, but the emotions and everything that has been carried through your ancestral lineage, right? So for example, I made a video not too long ago where I was talking about some of the generational patterns that I came to be aware of in my family. And I know that those things didn't start with me. Do you get what I'm saying? So I know that this was not I was not the originator, if you may, of that particular energy. Nevertheless, it was a part of my lineage. And so I actually felt the energy flowing through my body because our DNA is connected through the generations. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes to the heart, there may be ways that we look at things that are not necessarily. Thank you so much for joining as we talk about the heart, right? But there may be particular things, for example, that you may be experiencing um, in terms of the way that you process emotions, right? The way that you handle relationships, the way that you attach to relationships. All of those things are part of the energy of the heart. Ashe, ashe, always love, right? Um, so so many of us, right, through different relationships, different experiences, different things when it comes to the heart, we've developed ways of thinking and ways of being because of those experiences, right? Or let me say this, I won't even say because of, I would say those experiences help to shape our um the lens with which we see these things, right? Um, and so it's important to know, this is why I always talk about doing the root work, because it's important to know exactly, where did that start? What is the root of whatever it may be? So for example, if you know that you have an issue with relationships. Like, say for instance, you're someone who okay, now tell me, how do I save this? You tried to tell me this before. So for the YouTube fam, somebody's trying to tell me how to save the live on Instagram. How do I do that? Because I tried to do that last time. How do I do that? I think you told me before. I'm sorry, y'all. I appreciate y'all being patient with me because I'm trying to work through all these things and learn all this stuff so that I can make sure that y'all are able to catch the replays on both platforms. But if you on the my Instagram folks, right? If for some reason I can't figure out how to save the live, you can always check it out on my YouTube channel at Conscious Creations Live on YouTube. Okay. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, so really getting to getting to the roots, right? Getting to the root. Because what happens is we all start to develop these attachment styles, right? And I don't know if y'all have heard that, but it's a lot of this conversation that's been going on lately. So, people pick up these buzzwords on social media and just start, like, running with it. But all of us have an attachment style. And most of that attachment style was learned through our child rearing, right? And what I mean is this: say, for instance, you come from a home where your parents and the people that were there to rear you and to instill values in you and all of these things, but they may have been there physically, but emotionally, you didn't receive love. You didn't receive compliments. You know what I mean? So you may have more of a detached style when it comes to relationships because that's the patterning that you've learned, right? And if you take a look at your romantic relationships and also your friendships throughout the years, you will start to see a pattern, right? You'll start to see in every single situation how you were, not the other person, how you were in the relationship. Did you not want to commit to a relationship, right? For fear of abandonment, whatever the reason, whatever the reason, right? Not even to even put a label on it, but whatever the reason, say you have this fear of commitment. You want to take a look at that because there may be blockages in you receiving all of the energy that you can receive from your heart chakra, really opening up your heart chakra. If you are someone and that's more of an avoidant attachment style, right? So you sort of avoid getting yourself in these situations, for whatever reason. It could be, to prevent being hurt later down the road. It could be from, whatever, right? That's not really the issue. The main point that I want to bring home is really looking at what the attachment style is and what is the root for that attachment style, because you'll start to see these patterns play out over the course of your life. And if you were in a place and space right now where, say, for instance, you want to be in a romantic relationship, or you want more partnerships, whether friendships or whatever, you want to experience that, you want to also make sure that you are not subconsciously creating um not only blockages, so blocking your own blessings, as they say, but also um repelling that very energy that you are seeking, right? And this is why I talk so much about self-love and healing and all of these things, because all of us, y'all, we're programmed on some level, right? And so as we are awakening and becoming more aware of these things, it's important that you take a look at what these things are, so that your future can look different, or your tomorrow can look different than your today, right? So that's really the goal of going through all of this, is to really take a look at these, as we say, the shadow work. Take a look at the shadows. What is that unseen thing what is that unseen thing within you that may be preventing you from getting to that next step in your life? And only you can really determine that. Because you know what it is for you. But now, there are some other things with the heart chakra that I want to, of course, talk about, because like I said, it's not just a physical organ that, pumps blood through your body and things like that, but it also carries an energetic frequency that when we talk about the planets, all of the planets are actually within you. So when we talk about the heart chakra, we're talking about the planet Venus. We're talking about your ability to love, your ability to give love, your ability to receive love, the beauty that you see, the way that you see the world, right? The way that you see the world, because that's going to impact the way that you interact with the world. So there's a different vantage point of someone who sees the world as a beautiful place, right? Um, versus someone who sees the world as, hell, right? That's a very, very different perspectives. Relevant, but still they're still varying perspectives, right? Varying and unique. But so this heart chakra energy also allows us to magnetize things to ourselves, because the energy of the heart is both electric, so it sends electrical signals out through your body, right? So it's electric and it's magnetic, right? So the electrical aspect of it is more so that masculine energy, that I have to do, right? Energy, versus that feminine energy that is magnetic, that is attractive, that says, I am and I attract that I am. You see what I'm saying? But but like a battery, when both of these forces coalesce inside, it creates these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fireworks, right? But all of this is happening within you. And so what is happening is, once these fireworks are set off within you, that you start to attract that energy to you, because people are able to feel your energy. So when someone says, I feel you, right? That is what that means. That's the way I see it, right? Is when someone says they feel you, they can literally feel your frequency and feel your aura, all of that beautiful energy around you. They can feel that. And so in that feeling, it makes them feel whatever, right? Whatever it may be. So there are things that can happen, and things that we can come in contact with that can dirty our fields, right? So if you are constantly around people that are hateful and vengeful and spiteful and just hate life, hate love, hate, you know what I mean? That can dirty your energy. So you want to make sure that you cleanse your energy, after all encounters, that you cleanse your energy, so that you can be in your frequency. Because so often we are taking on energy of other people and not even realizing that that's actually what's happening. You see what I'm saying? um Now, the physical function, we already know the physical function of the heart, but one of the things is, the heart actually, this was shocking to me. Um, and I read this and I think I showed y'all the book. It's the complete book of the chakras. And so thank you so much for everybody tuning in. I appreciate y'all. So in this particular book, it describes the heart chakra, as an air element. And it's interesting to even think about it that way, because today the moon is in Aquarius, which is that's always been interesting to me, which is an air sign, not a water sign, but it's an air sign. And I guess that makes sense on some level, but I'm like, if we're going with that theory, right? If we're going with that, then it's always important then to, okay, all right, I see that. I see that. So okay, so now this is how it's making sense to me as an air element, because one of the thing about the heart chakra, the heart also deals with the lungs, um, and your breathing, right? So this makes sense. So because I'm thinking about the physical, the physical heart, right? As opposed to the aspect of it that allows for pumping, pumping blood, and for you breathing, right? So if we think about it this way, it's important also to think about sense, right? Because when we think about air, what are you smelling, right? What are you smelling? What types of scents are around you? Are they pleasant? Are they pleasing? How do they make you feel? Right? All of these things are going to be key because you are a spiritual being having this physical human experience. And so you want to make sure that you, in order to be tuned, to be in tune, right? You want to make sure that you have the sense around you that you're going to make it make sense, right? So now one of the other things that you guys can do, I've been telling you guys about the different chakra oils that we have available on the website. So this is the heart chakra oil, and this one is called I Allow Love to Flow to Me freely and easily, right? So this is available on the Conscious Creations website at consciouscreations.live. And as we talk about the air element, this all of the oils that are in this, they are made for the heart chakra. They're made to correspond with the heart chakra. So I'm sorry, it's dark in here, y'all. So I'm trying to see. So this one actually contains petitgrain, jasmine, patchouli, lavender. Yeah, those are some of the oils that are in the heart chakra oil. And now understand every single one of the conscious creations blends of oils are made for what they're made for, right? It is what it is, right? So it's made to bring your body and to bring your energy in tune with your heart, right? Now, so that's one of the things that you can do because remember, the heart, I'm just going to read some of these things for you because I was actually shocked by some of these things that the energy of the heart supports, right? The heart, the blood, the circulation, the lungs, like I said, the breasts, the thymus gland, which we'll talk about, the shoulders. Now, I didn't even really think about that, but it makes sense, right? So the shoulders and the cardiac plexus that's within your body. So all of those things are actually the physical function of the heart and the energy of the heart. And so, of course, you want the energy of the heart. You want that energy to be free flowing because you want to make sure that there's no blockage, there's no stagnancy, there's nothing within that space that will disallow you from receiving all of the love, all the love that's there for you, but at the same time to keep your physical heart strong, strong and doing what it needs to do. Now, this brings me to the thymus gland, and I want to talk about this because the thymus gland, if you're not familiar, it's actually the seat. It's like right here in the center, like the center of your chest, right? So you ever seen like your mama, like if you have a cold, your mama put like Vicks Vapor Rub or something on your chest. If you have a chest cold, that's in part why, because it opens up it opens up your thymus gland, and once that hits this particular area, it opens, it opens. Um, because the thymus gland is the seat of the immune system for the body, right? So a couple things about the thymus gland. It's a part of the endocrine system, and the heart itself are also impacted by the thymus gland. It's associated with the skin and with the sense of touch, right? That's the thymus gland. It's associated with the skin. Now, y'all have heard me talk about this because the skin, as we know it, is the largest organ on the body. Okay. The skin is the largest organ of the body. So, this is why I talk so much about making sure that the products that you're putting on your skin are actually allowing your energy to continue to flow, because I've talked about this before. There are a lot of products on the market that contain ingredients that are what are called endocrine disruptors. What that means is that there is a chemical, and it's usually a preservative. There is a chemical in it that acts to disrupt your endocrine system. And as I just read to y'all, the thymus gland, which is the home of the immune system, is a part of the endocrine system or the endocrine system. So if you have products or whatever that are causing disruption to that space, it's also impacting your immunity. Okay. So you want to make sure that you clean all that stuff out of your house, get that stuff out of your house and start fresh, right? This is why we're here, right? I told you all, I started Conscious Creations 4 years ago for, in part, that very reason, right? So go to the website, get y'all body butter, whatever it is that you need. Don't be out here ashy. Don't be out here ashy. Can't be out here ashy. But yeah, so let's continue with the thymus gland. All right. Okay, so I'm going to read this to y'all directly because this was from the notes that I took. So the thymus gland is active during gestation. So this goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning, that the heart chakra is the first to develop. The heart is the first to develop when a woman is pregnant. But the thymus gland is active during gestation. That's during the whole period that she's pregnant, and through and up to puberty to build up the immune system. So this is about 13, right? Now, okay, perfect. And it makes cells that strengthen the immune system. It produces most of what are called your T cells before birth. And I have a note here that says, women, take care of yourself and heal your stuff so you pass on good health. That was a note that I wrote when I wrote this. Let me see. Your body will have all the T cells that it needs by about age 13. So make sure also, and make sure, we'll talk about this in just a second. I get ahead of myself sometimes. But this is key. This is key information, because once you realize that this particular gland that actually is the home of your immune system, it begins to form when your mother is pregnant. And this is why like I said, it is important for women who are pregnant to make sure that they are doing the things that they need to do, and also giving their body the fuel that it needs to actually not only build your healthy immune system, but also build the healthy immune system for the child. Because as you see, it starts to form there, and age 13, it is what it is, right? So not only through gestation, but also, of course, when our children are born, being able to continue to nurture them and to give them the proper nutrients to support a healthy immune system, right? Because, like, truth be told, you all, like, I don't hear many people talk about things like this, right? And so this is why it's so key, because I've seen so many people have issues and not really knowing how to care for themselves. You see what I'm saying? And so I want to make sure that everyone in my collective, everyone who comes to my channel that finds this information, walks away with something that's going to be life changing, whether or not it's for you or for someone that you love. My goal is always to touch you, baby, just to touch you. So one of the ways to strengthen the thymus muscle is to strengthen the thigh muscle, right? So as above, so below. So you want to make sure that you are doing your squats, doing your leg lifts, don't skip leg day, working on your booty, doing what you do, because that's going to help to strengthen your immune system as well. Because the whole thing with the immune system, in part, is to make sure that you can get up and get it on your own, right? So strengthen those thigh muscles, y'all. Get out here and get fine. They say summer bodies are made in winter, so make it do what it do, right? Okay. So when you have any sort of dis-ease in the heart chakra, that can include diseases of not only the heart, the lungs, the breast, the pericardium, and the ribs, including things like heart disease, asthma, cancers, pneumonia, thoracic and spinal issues, as well as issues with the shoulders and the upper back. Okay. So, in addition to everything that we've already talked about, make sure that you're getting your massages. Self-care is healthcare. Self-care is healthcare. Self-care is healthcare. Okay. Take care of yourself. Get massages because what we just talked about, the heart chakra also deals with the shoulders. We know a lot of us walk around feeling like you got the weight of the world on your shoulders. So getting a massage is going to be good for your heart. It's going to open up that space because we know that what happens. I'm feeling it right here, right? So, you have your head down at the computer, you're thinking about whatever you're thinking about, right? So you want to lift that energy. You want to lift that weight off your shoulders. So, if you got a boo, whatever, just get a massage, whether it be, from your boo, from yourself, from a professional, hopefully a professional, because they can really take their time and know what to do and hone in on particular areas, things like that. But whatever the case, make it a regular part of what it is that you do because self-care is healthcare. Okay, now on a psychological level, what this looks like, what the heart chakra energy looks like, of course, love, relationships, but also the ability to relate and to bond with others. So, when we started this conversation, we were talking about the different attachment styles that you can develop throughout your childhood conditioning, right? So, this is where that comes in because your bonding styles and the way that you attach to other people, even to things, hoarding things, right? Where does that energy come from? Most of the time it comes from a conditioned belief that there's not enough, right? So I have to hold on to what I have because there's not enough, right? And so one of the things to combat, or not even to combat, right? Because we flow, right? We flow. So one of the ways that you can really hone in with that energy is to meditate with your hands open. So with your hands open and up, right? So that you are in a posture of giving and receiving, giving and receiving, giving and receiving, right? Because I know that society has said it's better to give than to receive, right? And that may very well be true. All I'm saying is so many of us were programmed in with that mindset, and so we took it literally. And so we gave and gave and gave and gave and gave. But what happens when you don't get anything back? You end up with an imbalance in your heart chakra because now you're mad, right? So you want to go in and really suss out whatever these energetic blockages may be. So this is like I was saying, looking at the attachment style, looking at the ways that you have learned to cope with whatever that attachment style is, looking at your previous partnerships and relationships and things like that so that you can make sure that you are on the right trajectory to get to where it is that you envision yourself in the highest possible way. And so this is about removing those blockages and barriers to actually helping you reach that place within yourself. Okay. All right. Now, spiritual functions, right? So the heart chakra, with all of the chakras, as you are healing this energy, as you are healing and working through the issues, like I said in previous messages, it unlocks dormant DNA. Because remember, the DNA has been damaged or turned off because of trauma, pain, or just being unawakened, truly unawakened, right? So when you start to awaken this energy within yourself, you start to unlock this dormant DNA. So you start to experience heightened spiritual gifts like um levitation, right? Powers of healing. Because when we talk about, I heard it, someone was talking about today, that whole concept of hurt people. But for those of us that are walking out here with a balanced and healed heart chakra, heal people, right? Because healed people have then allowed themselves to go through the process of healing themselves and healing their cells. right? So you unlock healing powers, you unlock unlimited knowledge. It is the place where birth and conception trauma, right, can be stored until it manifests at a particular place in the body. Now, this goes back to when we were talking about the thymus gland and how the thymus starts to, well, one, the heart is the first to develop in a child, right? So, what that already says is whatever that energy is, it is already starting to form, right? And so, listen, y'all, when y'all out here making these beautiful, magical babies, make sure that you are actually doing it with somebody that you love, somebody that you care about, somebody that you are actually happy to raise a child with, happy to be with, happy to have sex with, you know what I mean? That you are truly in that space, right? Consciously creating. The reason being, outside of, nobody who wants the drama, right? But outside of that, as the baby's heart is developing, it's picking up things, right? Because remember, we talked about the heart not only has this sends electrical signals, it also attracts, right? And so many of us have been born into these situations to heal these generational patterns, right? And it's already in our DNA, right? And so as we are working on clearing and cleansing these patterns so that we're not birthing this on to another generation. Do you see what I'm saying? So we're truly allowing ourselves to go through these deep levels of healing in order to have these healthier children and healthier families and healthier relationships and a healthier world, right? So that's why it's so important because of that. So even if you have birth and conception wounds, right? Meaning, I've talked about this before, but like, say for instance, you were the product of, unfortunately, rape, right? Or your parents didn't actually like each other and you were an accident, as they say, right? Whatever the case may be, those are memories, because it's all memories. Those are memories that are stored up in your DNA, in your cells. And so if you find yourself really looking at any of these things, you may want to look at the heart chakra and look at the thymus if you are experiencing things like that, where you're having any issues with birth and conception, period. Start at the heart, start at the immune system, and work from there. Okay. um so the other thing, let's see. Okay. um mm, mm, mm. Food. Beets. Beets are great for the heart. um Pomegranate is excellent for the heart. Have y'all had I had this pomegranate juice today, and whew. Anyway, so beets, pomegranates, things like grapes, like if you're going to do grapes, the red seeded grapes, like the big ones, the red seeded grapes, those are excellent for your heart. Let me give you a visual. So when you bite into the red seedless grape, I mean, not seedless, please, never seedless. When you bite into the red seeded grape, what you're going to take a look at, you open and you bite it in half, right? You'll see all what looks like little nerves running through it. And that's exactly what's happening within your body. It's feeding your nervous system, it's feeding your nervous system, it's feeding your cells. So as you are enjoying all of these delicious fruits and vegetables and all of these things, think about what it's doing to your body, and allow yourself to be in that moment and to be able to receive all of the energy, all of that healing energy from the pomegranate, from the beets, from whatever it is, these things that are going to work with your heart chakra. Allow that. right? Allow that. Let it in. Let that love in. Okay. So the heart chakra and the heart actually secretes hormones and neurotransmitters. We talked about the neurotransmitters. Um, and hormones such as the love bonding hormone, oxytocin, which is made in the brain. Now, the heart operates almost like a brain itself because it transmits signals sent to the brain along the vagus nerve and the spinal column to influence our nervous system and endocrine system, our digestive system, our urinary tract, the spleen, the respirator, the lymph system, and brain activities. Okay. So if you didn't know before how powerful your heart is, allow this to be your message to remind you of how powerful your heart is and why it's so important to take care of it on a physical level, on a spiritual level, on an emotional level, on a psychological level, on all levels. Take care of your heart, take care of your chakras, take care of your cells, right? If um if you are looking for any herbs for the heart, go to my website www.consciouscreations.live. Some of the things that are going to be very beneficial are making sure that you have enough antioxidants in your diet. So there is something called the antioxidant tea that's available on the website. It is red. So things that are going to be red are going to really speak to the heart. Okay. So we're talking the antioxidant tea. It's made with rose petals, rose hips, rose buds, and hibiscus. It's so mm, sensual, right? It's a very it's a very deep and sensual fragrance, or taste, right? Now, what you can do is when you order it, I'll also include a little honey pot. I call it a little honey dip. So add a little honey dip for you. Um, and so you just add a little bit of honey, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. Also, there are different berries, right? So hawthorn berries, juniper berries, elderberries, all of those things are these deep red and deep purples. Think about that when you're looking at the energy of the heart, these deep reds and deep purples. Those are going to be the herbs that you want to focus on ordering. Now, with everything, I must also say, if you are taking any sort of heart medication, right, make sure that you consult with your doctor before you take any of these herbs, because oftentimes what it is that there's an ingredient maybe from these different herbs or flowers or whatever that interacts with the medication. A lot of times, because the medication contains a part of the plant as its active ingredient that's making it do what it do. You see? That's what it do. But anyway, so there's all sorts of herbs and things that are available on the website. But if you all have any questions that I can answer for you, you can always email me. I try to get to folks when I can. It is Tisha Hillman. I'm sorry, that's my other email address for my other conscious creations live at gmail.com. Conscious creations live at gmail.com. Um, and if you all, yeah, oh, make sure that you tune in next week too, 8 o'clock, Instagram live, conscious creations, YouTube live, where we're going to be talking about the throat, right? Because from the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. So when we talk about the throat chakra, we're going to be talking about what that mouth do, right? What that mouth do. That's what we're going to be talking about, because we are out here unlocking, unlocking the dormant DNA and allowing ourselves to flow through all of the greatness that is, right? So I hope that y'all enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of your heart. Take care of all of you. Allow yourself to give and to receive love freely and easily, because love is beautiful, because God is love, right? And you are. So until next time, y'all, love yourself well. You deserve it. And now,